They say no good deed goes unpunished, but I didn't expect to be fined for saving lives. It was 6:47 a.m. when I got home from a 14-hour shift. At Station 32, I parked my red Ford F-150 responder rig in my driveway, standard protocol for a volunteer, on 24-hour call, and went inside to collapse. When I came back out, there it was, a crisp envelope slapped onto my windshield. Parking violation, show notice. Fine, 500, reason. Unauthorized emergency vehicle storage. Live in Cedar Hills, quiet, gated, very beige, and very HOA, the kind of place where they post speed limit signs for golf carts. And apparently, a fire truck in my own driveway violated their vision of visual harmony. I figured it was a misunderstanding, until the next one came, and the next, and the one after that. 3 days, 3 fines, each more aggressive than the last. But this wasn't about a truck. This was about control. And when they tried to paint me as a threat to the community, they didn't realize who I really was, or how hot things were about to get. Cedar Hills was supposed to be peaceful, but peace has a price, and her name was Darlene. HOA president for 9 years, pastel sweater sets, clipboard practically glued to her palm. She once told me, "Your truck is very red." "It's a fire truck," I said. She didn't smile. The first fine felt like a slap. I went to the HOA office to straighten things out. Darlene looked up from her desk with a smirk. "CCNRs clearly state no oversized vehicles or decals." "I'm a firefighter," I replied. "It's on call. That truck saves lives. Not from your driveway, it doesn't." I appealed, denied, tried compromising. Offered to tint windows, cover the decals. More fines. I got hit with over 2,000 in under a week. Then came the threats, lion placement on my property. But the worst part? The rumors. Neighbors stopped waving. One guy crossed the street when I walked my dog. I overheard someone at the mailbox say, "It's dangerous having that truck just sitting out there." Darlene had printed a newsletter. Page 2 was a blurry photo of my truck, captioned "Safety Concerns." Then it got real. Came home from a call and found oil under my truck. Not a leak, sabotage. 2 lug nuts were loosened. Could have cost lives. Filed a report. Nothing happened. Then they called the police on me. Claimed I was operating an unlicensed commercial vehicle. Officers verified my credentials and left. But Darlene watched smugly from her porch. She said, "Maybe next time you'll follow the rules like the rest of us." That's when I stopped playing defense. Because they'd just lit the fuse. Within days, things got worse. A noise complaint appeared, claiming I revved the truck at 2 a.m. I was at the station. A violation for improper landscaping. Showed up while my sprinklers were literally running. The fines? Now over $7,000. The harassment turned surgical. One night, I caught a neighbor photographing my driveway. When I asked why, he stuttered something about property values. And then came the kicker. A brush fire broke out near the end of Maple Lane. Ethan, a 12-year-old I knew from the block, lived there. I saw smoke on my way home and jumped into action. Grabbed gear from the rig and extinguished it before it hit the fence. No injuries, no damage. Saved the kid's house. The next morning, I got a $1,000 fine. Unpermitted use of fire equipment on community grounds. I stared at it, stunned. Then I saw the newsletter. Ongoing concerns regarding unauthorized equipment use. Another blurred image of my truck. Another passive-aggressive smear campaign. But something changed that day. I got quiet knocks. Notes slipped into my mailbox. "We're with you." She's gone too far. A few neighbors, fed up with Darlene's reign, confessed she'd targeted them too. Renters, retirees, single parents, anyone who didn't fit her picture-perfect HOA mold. And I realized this wasn't just my battle. It was everyone's, so I did what I do best. I called my crew. We weren't going to break the rules. We were going to use them. Station 32 has something called the Community Risk Reduction Program. It lets us run public education events, with full permits, on public roads, even inside neighborhoods. We picked a Saturday, Darlene's annual garden showcase, when Cedar Hills residents paraded their rose bushes like royalty. At 9 a.m. we rolled in. Engine 32, ladder 3, my rig, cleaned and polished, and a city outreach van with banners. Fire Awareness Day, protecting what matters most. We parked by the clubhouse. Families came out. Kids took photos. We handed out pamphlets and fire extinguisher demos. Darlene came stomping down the sidewalk. "This is private property!" Captain Reyes smiled, holding up a clipboard. "Public outreach under City, Code 14-3B. We sent you the notice, signed 4 by 1 Darlene G." She turned white. I added, "And today's theme? Wildfire prevention. We're inspecting fences next to brush zones." Her face dropped. Because guess what her HOA had just installed behind the trail? A non-compliant, cedar-planked fire trap of a fence. No clearance, no permit. City inspectors arrived. Took photos. Filed an immediate notice of violation. Either tear it down or pay to retrofit it. Estimated cost, $30,000, she sputtered. This is harassment. Reyes deadpanned. This is fire prevention. People laughed, took photos. One man shouted, should have left the truck alone. I didn't gloat. I just passed out smoke detector batteries to the crowd. By Monday, complaints poured in, from residents against Darlene. Turns out she'd been selectively fining people for years. We compiled evidence, screen-capped emails, handwritten citations with no witnesses. 3 families filed formal grievances. HOA board called an emergency meeting. Darlene didn't make it past the first 10 minutes. She was voted out. Effective immediately, old Tom, the retired Marine, took over as acting president. His first order, all fines issued against Lieutenant Carter are null and void, and we apologize publicly. Then came the best part. The city crew arrived to tear down the illegal fence. And Station 32, we ran safety drills during the demo. Sirens, gear, full turnout suits. We trained while the very fence Darlene once flexed got chainsawed into splinters. It wasn't spite. It was symbolic. Even kids helped carry debris to the truck. That night, I found a hand-drawn sign taped to my truck's door. Thank you for being our hero, Ethan. It's wild how the smallest things, like a truck in a driveway, can become battlegrounds. But sometimes the strongest statement isn't yelling or fighting. It's showing up, not in anger but in uniform. Not to burn bridges, but to hold a hose when no one else will. The HOA tried to make me feel like I didn't belong. Now they print my name in the monthly newsletter under First Responder Appreciation. Ethan wants to be a firefighter. His dad says it's because of me, maybe, but I think it's because he saw someone stand up, not just for themselves, but for everyone too scared to speak. And Darlene? She moved. Rumor is her new HOA made her sign a clause saying she couldn't join the board. Poetic, huh? So if you've ever been pushed around by clipboard tyrants, remember, rules don't matter more than people. Silence doesn't equal peace. And if they ever fine you for answering the call, answer louder. Comment justice served if you made it to the end. What would you have done if your fire truck got fined? Tag a neighbor who's had to deal with HOA drama. And next time you see a fire truck in someone's driveway, don't write a complaint. Write a thank you.